Hello and welcome to the Sayla Space Nutrition Hub. Today we're going to be making no-bake homemade granola bars. Never made this recipe before, but I saw it online. Super excited about it, and I'm really familiar with all of the ingredients that go into it. So the first one is something I use in my overnight oats actually. It's flax seeds. Great for digestive health, great for inflammation. But what this recipe called for was to actually have ground flaxseed, which I didn't have. But I used my Vitamix and I blended, this is about 3/4 of a cup. So I'm gonna start by putting my ground flaxseed in there. And then I do have 2 cups. These are quick oats. Regular oats are fine. Steel cut oats are even better. Whatever you have on hand. I've got 2 cups of oats, a 1/2 cup of dark chocolate. I have the mini chips because I just like those better. And then I have cranberries, which also are really awesome for any kind of GI distress or digestive issues. The recipe also called for dried fruit, which I didn't have on hand. So I'm using the cranberries, but I mean, I love recipes like this because you can make it your own. You don't have to go exactly, obviously you need certain things that hold things together, but you can kind of make it your own. So I've got a 1/2 cup of cranberries now, and the last 2 ingredients, that's literally it, y'all. I have maple syrup, so I'm gonna go with probably 1/4 to a 1/2 of a cup, somewhere in between there. This is the only kind of sweetness other than, well, I guess the chocolate and the cranberries, but there's no sugar in this recipe other than the maple syrup. Yeah, so this is about between a 1/4 and 1/2 of a cup. Go ahead and put that in. Oh my goodness. This already looks like a dream. And then a 1/2 cup of any kind of nut butter. Really, all I have on hand right now is traditional peanut butter, but I love a good sun butter, almond butter, pistachio butter. If you've ever had that before, mix it up. I mean, if you are unsure about it, try it out. It may be worth your time and effort. Let me grab a spoon. So I've got a spoon here. I'm just gonna measure out my peanut butter in this 1/2 cup. And again, can't have too much or too little peanut butter. I guess you can, but it does not have to be an exact science, my friends. Close enough to me. So we got our nut butter. Actually, that came out really nicely because I had maple syrup in there. Now, the beauty is that's everything that we do. We are going to mix these ingredients together. I wish I had a stand mixer. I do not. Hint to my husband. For Christmas or my birthday, your pregnant wife needs a stand mixer so she can make you bread and granola bars. This is gonna take a minute, so I'm gonna add just some spiritual fruit into this video, this conversation today, because why not? Something that has so been tested and on my heart recently, and I feel like the Lord is actually sanctifying within me. I've probably struggled with and experienced this honestly my whole life, but I'm very type A, I'm very independent. I think when life gives you lemons, I won't say always because that's a definitive statement, but for the most part, I white knuckle things. I try to figure life out on my own. I'm like, okay, well, if this isn't working, let's go to plan B. And I have such a strong fist with that. I think a lot of that comes from my desire for justice and to live in a holy, good world, and we don't. So I think I have to do some reality testing. But all of that to say, what the Lord has put on my heart is that when you inevitably suffer trials, when you are going through something confusing, it is not our job to try to figure out plan B immediately, or just excuse me, I have a, I washed my hands. That's probably not sanitary. You know what, I'm gonna wash my hands again. I'm sorry, y'all. Don't judge me. I have like, a Brazil nut. If you guys have ever heard of Brazil nuts, because they have like your whole day's quantity of what's called manganese. It's a micronutrient that doesn't come in a lot of different foods or vitamins of that nature. So I try to take a Brazil nut, and sometimes it gets stuck in your throat. So I'm not sick. We all have germs, but I'm not sick. That is Satan also trying to divert me from what I'm trying to share with you guys. So what the Lord is teaching me and put on my heart is that it is not our job to immediately search for plan B or to brush over the anger that comes with an injustice or change. It is our job to submit to Him and to trust that, y'all, if we're running towards Him, if He's our focus, He is going to take care of us, and He's going to put us in the position that He needs us, that fulfills our desires, that uses our spiritual gifts, that gives us meaning, that gives us purpose. So not that we don't need to plan or do work, like those things are biblical too, but we don't need to do it out of fear or anger that this person has done me wrong or this isn't working out. We just need to be still. I feel like that's the whole spiel I've got for life. So I'm so grateful to God for kind of sanctifying me with that, and I know I'll continue to struggle, you know, looking for plan Bs or trying to control my own life, and that's not my job. So I hope this has been helpful for you while we're making these granola bars together. My mixture is pretty well mixed, looking good in there. I'm wondering if it maybe needs just a little bit more maple syrup and a little bit more peanut butter just to hold it together just a little bit better. Again, I know this isn't an exact recipe, but sometimes you can just kind of tell from the consistency, and it looks like the dough is, Daisy. It will harden up as it gets colder, but I really want to make sure that these hold tight together and are not just kind of like shedding all over the place. Babies! Don't mind my family. So I'm also gonna get another spoon, and I'm gonna add a little bit more peanut butter just to hold this all together a little bit better. And what we're gonna do, because these are no bake, so it's probably, let's see, we did a half a cup, 3/4 of a cup of peanut butter. That's ends up being the whole recipe. And I did like 2 more tablespoons of maple syrup, just to kind of add to the stickiness, to the texture, and you know, the sweetness too. So, gosh, we got another minute here of me mixing this peanut butter. I guess I could fast forward in the video for you, but why not just spend a little bit of time together? Okay. I love this because you know every ingredient that's in here. Of course, like the peanut butter's kind of processed, the maple syrup's pretty processed, but other than that, at least you know what's going in there. There's no weird oils. Eventually, I'll be holistic enough to like make my own maple syrup and my own peanut butter, but we're not there yet. I so deeply admire the women who are. So please tell me your tips. I will say I have a friend of mine, shout out to her. Her name is Miss Elena. So if you ever watch this, Elena, this is for you. She gave me some good advice because she's very holistically minded, and I was like, how do you make all these changes when we've like grown up with processed food and all of these things? She said, just start with one, Anna. It can be overwhelming. So the one I started with was I got organic fruit cleaner and vegetable cleaner, and I made that a habit, and it's been a habit ever since. So I think just finding certain substitutions you can make, it's all adding to the greater good. So we have our granola bar mix. I actually have this tiny cute little pan, and the reason I'm using this is because it fits in my freezer. We're gonna harden all of these up. You can also put it in the fridge, but I'm gonna put it in the freezer just so I can enjoy them sooner. But we get our mixture, And we are going to just spread it on some foil on this pan. Oh yeah. Got maybe a little too much mix for this tiny pan, but we just gonna have some thick granola bars, y'all. We're gonna spread them out, make it nice and tight. Oh, I think it's actually going to be perfect. Oh, I'm so excited. And then I'm gonna start mashing it down. Y'all have better ways. I'm sure there's another kitchen tool that would be better for this. Maybe even like the bottom of this bowl. Oh man, that's looking so nice. I'm gonna even it out a little bit. Yeah, I think the extra peanut butter and maple syrup was a great choice. Because now what we're gonna do, I'm probably going to freeze this for an hour or so. Then you cut them into granola bars, and I will probably keep them in the fridge, but yeah, they will be good also not in the fridge because there's no dairy, there's no egg, just our ingredients. All right. Another thing I did see on this recipe when I was looking at it is the girl who was cooking them, she got plastic wrap, pressed it on top, and then squished it down a little bit more. So I'm actually gonna try that. We're gonna try this together, y'all. What I'm hoping y'all take out of this experience too is that, again, I'm not a chef, I'm not a nutritionist. I haven't perfected this recipe 90 times. I wish I had, because then you'd have like some really deep wisdom about homemade granola bars, but I haven't. But this is something that I do for fun. It's a hobby that I enjoy doing to, you know, take care of my family and to explore creativity, and who doesn't love healthy food, healthy, delicious food for that matter. All right, so my plastic wrap, how do you not like get it to stick together? Someone please, please, please help your girl out. Because I feel like I have this problem every single time I use plastic wrap, but I think I'm making it worse. Okay, we got this. Oh yeah, so then I can just press it on top. That makes it so much easier to kind of flatten this out. Get all the lumps out so everything's nice and even. All right. Oh, wow. I'm so excited, y'all. This turned out so nice so far. All right. So you can refrigerate it for a couple of hours. I'm going to freeze it for a couple of hours, cut it apart, and you got your granola bars. But that's our little mixture. I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully I'll be back to show you the final product. And yeah, let me know what your version looks like. We'll talk soon, friends. Bye. And remember, God's got you. He's going to take care of you. Continue to seek Him. Do the best you can. Manage your emotions as they come. But ultimately, He's in charge, not us. It's okay. He'll take care of you. So these are our granola bars. We've got them. We turned the pan over on this cutting board. And we're going to cut them into bars now.